Are you feeling overwhelmed during this pregnancy, trying to organize all of your to-dos? This is one of the most common issues that I hear in my counseling office. My specialty practice is all about working with moms from pregnancy all the way through motherhood. And if we look at the overwhelming list of to-dos, you're getting lists from your OBGYN or midwife's office, you're getting lists from friends and family with suggestions, and then you've been reading blogs and listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos. What do I need to prepare for when baby arrives? What I wanted to do is break down in one of my videos to you what is the best way to feel organized and prepared by resetting the to-do list that you've been creating over time. Here we go. My name is Kathryn Gardner. I'm a mom and a therapist and health coach that specializes in working with moms and moms-to-be. There are so many things coming up for you through the end of your pregnancy, preparing for delivery, and preparing for baby's arrival. There's going to be so many transitions going on in what happens to you, what happens to your relationship, what happens out to your household, what happens in your career or responsibilities that you have. In this major shift, one of the ways to build your confidence is to feel like you have an organized, prepared plan. There are many sites, lists you can look up, things you should buy for your baby registry, things you need to prepare and bring with you to the hospital, looking and considering decisions you need to make between now and when baby arrives about feeding, about the way that you're going to arrange the house, about where baby's going to sleep, what kinds of items baby needs. But I felt like that all brings up anxiety. That is exactly the list that can wake you up at 2 a.m. and startle you into, I'm never going to feel prepared enough. I'm never going to feel like I have it all ready. I'm never going to feel like I am going to be on top of this. And for most of us as ambitious, high-achieving women, we want to feel like we've got this. So let's look at some techniques that can help you with that. Before we jump into that list, I just want to take a second and check in with you. Put in the comments below, what are some of the things that are feeling overwhelming about your to-do list? Are you getting knots in your stomach thinking about everything? Are you analyzing and fearing you're forgetting something? Are you getting a lot of advice and suggestions, things you've been Googling and looking up, or friends and family suggesting for you, whether this is your first baby or you have toddlers and siblings at home that you're trying to prepare, how are their needs going to be met when the new baby arrives? You may be getting all of this new information and it may be hard to prioritize. Where do I even begin? How do I even know what I need to do first? But I'm swirling. I've got thoughts that are looping of things. Oh, I should look that up again. Or the doctor mentioned that question. I don't know what the answer is for that or what we want to happen at the hospital. So our goal is to say, how can we feel organized and prepared? Well, my first tip, and if you've watched some of my other videos, you'll see that I talk a lot about cognitive behavioral therapy. What we think influences how we feel and all of the pleasant and unpleasant emotions we're experiencing, and it affects how we then begin to act. Do we react to things that are going on around us, or do we have a nice calm response to what has happened? So if we start with our thoughts, I want you to take a look at what you are looping on. Is it the fear that you're not going to be prepared? Is it the fear that you don't know enough? Is it the fear that somebody else knows it better than you do? Well, we're going to put up our big red stop sign and take a look at what are the facts. And the facts is most moms enter into delivery and the return home and those first few months, we call it the fourth trimester, still feeling overwhelmed, still feeling like, boy, I wish I had done more. I've talked to moms with 5 or 6 kids, And they're much more laid back because they recognize it's okay if I don't have everything just right. It will turn out okay. So we want to have that same relaxed feeling and feeling like, okay, I have the confidence to say, I knew that I already went through my top priorities, and those got handled first and foremost. So if you've addressed what you're thinking about, stop, am I thinking about how much I'm beating myself up over this process of getting my to-do list ready, and clarifying, you know what? I went through and did a system of organizing the list, and I'm going to be okay. Your to-do list may feel scattered. So one of the top things that I'm going to recommend is that you put it into categories. That then is going to help us with prioritizing it. Your categories, pick out the column of things that have to do with medical and wellness for mom. That's column number 1. What are all the to-dos that have to do with your doctor's appointments, with what's going to happen for your body and health in labor and delivery, what your birth plan may be is in that column. Postpartum, what are the mama's bottom spray that you need? What are the medical supplies that you will need at the house for your own recovery? What are the meals and plans for good nutrition when you return home? What are the systems that you need to set up, especially with your support system, that take care of mom and mom's health and wellness? Category number 2 is looking at baby's wellness, health and wellness. Have I set up and addressed who my new pediatrician is going to be? Do I know what I need to make decisions about maybe circumcision or not circumcision? What my desire is for feeding. And notice I say desire because so many of us have very ideal plans when we get home with baby, and baby's not cooperating with lactating and lactation steps of breastfeeding. You're needing a nipple shield. Your pump isn't working the way that you expected. So how to overcome some of those frustrations. And the La Leche League is a wonderful organization. If you haven't connected with their website or one of their moms groups, they're also just a great moms group to connect with other new mommies. But getting your information for baby and feeding. If I'm going to bottle feed, do I know what nipple size I need? Do I know what my sterilization process is going to be? That is all fitting into column number 2. Do I have my Dr. Sears The Baby book on my nightstand, right? That was one of my go-to books. I'll put the link down below. It is a go-to book with just some quick, easy, soothing techniques for the crying baby, for the baby diaper rash, for feeding issues. Knowing, okay, I've got a book right here that I can go to and trust, and that I'm not Googling and getting lost on the internet. But that all falls into column number 2. All those things I want to organize and prepare for baby's health and wellness. Your third category of organizing your to-do list is your home preparation. And that is looking around the house and saying, where are going to be my diaper stations? Where are going to be my feeding stations where me and my partner can put food and snack and big water bottles for me while we're doing feedings? Where around the house is baby going to be sleeping in a bassinet? Is baby going to be sleeping in a nursery room? What are some of the decisions and space options that you have? How are we rearranging where baby's clothes and the diapers are going to go around closets and out about in the room for our helpers? As you organize all of this stuff, and boy, I couldn't believe during the baby shower, how could one little being need this much gear? But it's true, you have a lot of stuff in your home, and it's helpful to then put that all into its own column. Organize that as its own page in your mom's notebook, because that way it's not blended in with these other categories. Now we're going to get to the 4th area, or the 4th page of your mom's notebook, that 4th column. Before we do that, I just also want to encourage you, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I love having more moms join us as I share these weekly videos for you, from pregnancy all the way through motherhood. What are the stress and struggles that you have, but how do you feel refreshed? What are the tools that you have for self-care, finding more confidence, finding more energy, and really finding that tranquility? So subscribe, ring that little bell down below. That means that each Friday as I load a video, it's going to come right up into your feed. And give it a thumbs up. It'll show others that you're enjoying this video. So we've gone over the page in your mom's notebook or column that has to do with mom's health and wellness, baby's health and wellness, and home preparation. Now you can get to that fourth category, so you're really just separating out your lists. And that fourth category goes back to responsibilities. This may be preparing for your leave from work. This may be decreasing volunteer responsibilities that you've been doing for older siblings at their schools or at your church or in your community, kind of pulling back that you're going to be on a leave and taking time for yourself and your baby. Responsibilities that maybe there are things you and your spouse, he didn't do the bills. Now you were the only one doing the bills. Now you're going to say, you know what, for the next 3 months, can I train him and give him like, hey, this is the websites I go to for our bills. These are the places I put our envelopes, so that he's got the system down pat and he's able to take that baton from you and run with it for these next few months. As you look at the responsibilities with the siblings, if you have bigger kids or toddlers and you're thinking, okay, how can I pull in the grandparents? I've got that on my to-do list. What am I going to do about that? What am I going to do about daycare? What am I going to do about getting them to where they need to be? Write all of those to-dos down in that fourth page under responsibilities. I'm going to tell you, writing this down, don't let it stay in your head. Any of these categories. Put it down onto paper, and even if you're not sure which heading it goes under first, then do a miscellaneous page and say, okay, that way as you can use a bullet system or a highlighter system to say, this is a top priority, or bring the notebook to that doctor's appointment and say, look, I've got 3 questions that are in my notebook and I want to ask you so that I could start to check some things off or know how to take my prenatal classes at the hospital and what time they are and where they are, or if they're online right now during COVID. That way you're feeling like, okay, I've got this one place, so that at 2 a.m. when the thoughts start racing, you can go back to that notebook and say, I know where I have it all written down. I know how I can get to it quickly and check on it. It's going to be broken down. What are the things in that notebook that are top priority this week? What are top priorities this month? What are things that have to be done by birth, right? You can do little initials next to each bullet point in your notebook so that you go, okay, this isn't urgent this week. I'm thinking about it, but I know it's safe in the notebook. I don't have to memorize it. That's going to decrease anxiety because the brain says I'm flooded by too many thoughts, too many to-dos. So putting it down and then identifying like, well, how urgent do I need to find a solution or answer to this to-do? Because I'm either running out of energy or I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm running out of time. Okay, well then that's where you're going to get your priorities very straight. I hope that this video has helped you. I'm so glad that you're here with me, moms. My name is Kathryn Gardner. I am a licensed clinical professional counselor, a certified perinatal mental health specialist, and a certified health coach for pregnancy. Whew, all of those titles, what they mean is that I love this topic. It means I've pursued education and training so that I can give this information to you, bringing you ways to feel more confident, boost up that energy, and get through motherhood together. Today, take care of yourself.